Let's take a good look at her. It may be the last time on center court that she holds to her promise. But no one has ever played more successfully on this great turf court than Martina Navratilova. And in great attempts, it is glorious even to fail, isn't it? Conchita Martinez was a 50-1 shot at the start of Wimbledon. She leaves as the champion with a champion. She's going to take some turf with her, just as she did on her first arrival here. She grabbed a tuft of the Wimbledon grass. And as she turns the corner, there, a familiar microphone held by Bud Powell.
If there was ever splendor on this grass, it's you, Martina.
It wasn't so splendorful today, but gave it all I had.
Did the double faults in the third set undo you?
Well, the game points that I had before the double faults, I think undid me more, but the double faults certainly didn't help. I was up game point in the first game of the first set, lost it on a double fault, and I was up 40-15 at 2-all.
Right.
Lost it again, had another double fault, and I had a game, and I was up 15-40 again.
Yeah.
So there were 3 games, and I'm down 5-3, so that was the match. Not winning. She played great points.
Did she take it away from you?
I think she took it away. I mean, I gave it away with the 2 double faults, but when I had those game points, she hit a winner every single time.
So many times we've met here, a dozen times. It's hard to unclog all the memories, but what might be your greatest on center court?
Well, this one ranks out right up there. Even though I lost, I was thrilled to be there, and just didn't quite finish the way I wanted to, but this one definitely ranks right up there.
Is this goodbye?
Definitely. Enough.
No. What a way to finish it. Face of a champion, the greatest champion ever to play here. Thank you very much. ¡Viva España! Conchita, muy bien jugado.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Did you think that you were out of it when you were lying on the court with that injury timeout?
Well, yeah, it was really tight at the beginning of the second set, and after if I don't stretch and see myself a little bit, I'm going to be in trouble, so I decided to, stop a little bit to see if it gets better.
When did you injure yourself?
No, I was tight for a couple of days, and today it seems to feel better, but when I got it there, maybe it's because all the tension of the match and it got me there.
How much tension to come on this court, into her backyard, your first major final, her 32nd major final. How much tension?
Well, actually, I wasn't that bad. I was really nervous at the half an hour before the match or something. I was like, my stomach was hurting and everything. I was like, oh my God. But once that I went there, I said, oh, you got to play and do your best. And I did.
You did? I've asked you before what you call those passing shots, and you just said, well, the Conchita. Now it's the Wimbledon Conchita.
Yes.
But how do you deliver those shots like that with all that awful spin?
Well, it's a lot of practice. I mean, it's a lot of game recoveries, and, it's just working. I hope it's going to work the whole life.
Down 2 break points. Your lead just about to vanish. What were you telling Conchita Martinez?
Yeah, well, I was really in trouble there because if I was losing that game, it was
4-all then.
And she was serving, and, then if she was winning that game, I was in a big trouble because I was serving to hold the match. So, I don't know. I really played well those points, and, I don't have what to say.
Muchas gracias. Here she is, the first woman from Spain to win. Arriba, Conchita.
Thanks, Bud. Conchita Martinez produced 51 winners in the match and only 16 unforced errors. 6-4, 3-6, 6-3 in a match that had everything superb play, high emotion, all the pressures of Wimbledon history. And 9-time champion underlined how terrific it all was and how much it all means. As we now go to Hannah Storm.
Thanks, Dick. Well, coming up as our Wimbledon coverage continues, a tribute to Martina Navratilova. Also, we will talk with 3-time Wimbledon champion Chris Evert, and also coverage of the men's doubles final. In the third set, match point, and Conchita Martinez coming to the net in a reversal of roles. Forcing the action, Martina's backhand sails wide, and that's the title for the 22-year-old from Barcelona. Conchita Martinez, the first Spaniard to win the ladies singles title at Wimbledon, the baseliner's first Grand Slam title on the grass of Wimbledon, and being perhaps the best grass court player of all time in the process. Martina Navratilova leads center court with 9 titles here, and a fine effort this afternoon. Again be her like on these grounds. Martina Navratilova holds all the significant records at Wimbledon. And we wonder how long it will be until we witness someone who can sustain such excellence for so long. Now with Dick Enberg, we offer this testimonial. Martina, as seen through the eyes of some of those who know her best.
I think the place is special. I think it should be special regardless of the surface. Everything's green. You can see the ball, and you can feel tennis here.
That superb approach shot gives Martina Navratilova championship points.
She dreamed about playing Wimbledon and winning Wimbledon. I remember talking to her when she was 17. I said, you know, you could be the greatest ever. You can do it all. And she went, what? Well, I want to be really good. And I go, no, you can be the greatest ever. You can do it all.
Navratilova wins by 2 sets to 1.
I had a real bad day the day before. And I went over and knocked on her door because she was at the flat next to me and I was crying. And she came over and pretty much took care of me and said, look, everything's going to be fine. You're going to do great. And I was playing her the next day in the finals. And I went on court the next day and I lost her pretty decisively. But even though I didn't go away with the Wimbledon trophy, I knew I went away with a friend. When they made her, they threw out the mold, and they not only threw it out, they crushed it into hundreds of thousands of pieces. She is the most unique athlete that I've ever seen.
She's 7 for 7 in finals. She's done it. A marvelous victory for her.
Yeah, Martina really respects Wimbledon and respects the tradition. And she's happy here. Yeah, she really is happy when she's at Wimbledon.
Men and women, no one before today had ever won 9 singles titles. That belongs alone to Martina Navratilova. She joined the world over 37 years ago, October 1956, born in Prague. She learned the game on clay and wooden courts at her small village club. In her first trip to Wimbledon on the grass, she reached the junior final. In 1979, her mother saw her for the first time at Wimbledon. Mother Jana treated to her daughter's second Wimbledon championship. In the same year, 79, Martina won doubles with Billie Jean King, Billie Jean's record 20th and final Wimbledon title. And then there was the rivalry, the friendly rivalry. rivalry with Chris Evert. Unique for its high-level intensity and its warmth of sportsmanship. "22 Wimbledon years. She's become a fixture, a part of the working staff. We've marveled at her enormous talent, all the wondrous shot-making on these hallowed lawns, and when the votes are counted, she wins. Best ever."
It won't be the same next year without her in the singles. We should all miss her. We should all talk about her. We'll still refer to her, and that's because she's set the absolute standard at Wimbledon. Irreplaceable. The girl is a professional, and she has some very good qualities when it comes to presentation on the court, etc. In fact, she probably knows more about the centre court than most people who are in the club.
Martina's done it all, and she's just the greatest women players ever lived.
When we come back, Dick Enberg will be speaking with someone else all too familiar with Martina's abilities. He met her at center court at Wimbledon in 5 championship matches. 3-time Wimbledon champion Chris Evert after these words. Martina Hingis and Anna Kournikova, both age 13, might be the future of women's tennis. As some have remarked, they are also, unfortunately, its present. With the game becoming ever younger, the time is now for both girls, and they met here for the first time yesterday, with Martina Hingis winning by a score of 6-4, 6-3. Tracy, you were at the match.
Yes, this is Anna Kournikova serving. She came from Russia, actually, but moved over to Nick Bollettieri's Tennis Academy in Florida a few years back. Both girls have very impressive backhands. I think that side of their game are more impressive. Kournikova has a very nice service motion here, very relaxed. I think she's going to be the better server in the future. Martina Hingis is kind of slow moving on her serve, doesn't have the great grip yet, but there's another winner backhand. Martina Hingis, this one right here, or it was right there, originally from the Czech Republic, moved to Switzerland, plans to play in her first pro tournament in October. She turned 14 in September and wants to turn pro and play in Zurich, Switzerland.
15, 13.
We should mention that Hingis also won this afternoon, and she will go on to the final here at Wimbledon. Such hard hitters. How can they hit that way with such consistency at this age?
Well, right there I want to talk about her temper. She actually broke her racket right there and got a point penalty. So she's very quiet, very calm, but has a temper.
And after the match, Hingis already sounded like a wearied, seasoned pro.
Ja, von mir hat man eigentlich viel erwartet, dass ich jetzt gegen Anna gewinnen muss.
I had to win, and everybody expected me to win, and even then the pressure was much stronger, and playing against her, I beat her, and I've proven to be better.
We failed to mention that Hingis is named, obviously, after Martina Navratilova. And you said that she will be turning pro at the age of 14, a little bit older than Jennifer Capriati was when she turned pro. The eligibility age, of course, you can turn professional in the same month in which you turned 14. Is she ready to turn pro?
Actually, I think it would be smarter for her to play a few pro tournaments, see where she's at, because she doesn't hit the ball as hard as a lot of the pros, most of the pros out there. Her serve is still quite weak. Very good futures for both of these players, but I would rather see Martina Hingis play a couple of tournaments, see where she's at before she went for the big plunge, because once you go for that plunge, you can't turn back and play juniors and everything else.
The WTC has commissioned a group here to study age eligibility rules. I know that you testified to that effect. But what did you recommend to the committee, and do you think we'll see the age eligibility rules change?
I think we are going to see them change. I think Martina Hingis will get in because they won't do anything until January, and she'll be 14 before that. It might affect Kournikova, although, because I think they're either going to limit the number of tournaments that a 14, 15, and 16-year-old can play, or maybe even go so far as to say, until you're 16 or until you're 18, you can't even play on the circuit. My suggestions were proof that they were going to school in order to play on the WTA Tour.
Does it bother you that both of these girls at age 13 already have contracts with IMG?
They've probably had contracts since about 9 years old. It starts very young these days.
All right, thanks, Tracy. And when we come back, a rematch of last year's Wimbledon gentlemen's doubles final, Australia's Woodbridge and Woodford against the NAFTA guys, Canada's Grant Connell and the USA's Patrick Galbraith, when we return.
Going for another championship at Wimbledon. They've won 23 titles together. They're chasing their 9th Grand Slam victory, and opposing them for the Wimbledon doubles championship, a classic serve and volleyer, Jana Novotna, and a classic baseliner, Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. Let's go to the action. Set 1, game 1 at center court.
They've been here before. As Gigi, her left leg heavily strapped as it was in that single semifinal. Last year they were thwarted in going for a Grand Slam at Flushing Meadow, losing to Arantxa Sanchez Vicario and Helena Sukova. This could be leg 3. Novotna, finalist last year in singles, as you remember. Disastrous collapse from 4-1, 40-30 against Steffi Graf.
Gigi Fernandez with that leg strap pulled that left hamstring against Ina Garrison in the quarters in the singles. Feels more comfortable with the strapping, keeps the muscle warm.
Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, French champion.
Good deep serve, right on the line there. He scooted through. Gigi has a very nice service motion, nice and smooth. Gets a lot of power out of her serve without a lot of motion.
So there's the game for Gigi and Natasha. First game. Natasha Zvereva. And here she is, the Barcelona Bumblebee, Arantxa. Service winner to Zvereva. Zvereva in the right court for the defending champions. Gigi plays the left.
A little surprising, but Arantxa is serving first because her serve is not as large as Novotna. The only thing I can think of is that Novotna's at the net here. She can post more.
Ooh, eyeliner to eyeliner.
Love those fast volleys, keeping the racket only out in front of them. Don't have time for any big swings. Gigi always moving in after the return, trying to get into the net.
Dirty love. Jana.
Novotna cutting it off, always looking for the opportunity to post and end the point. Whoa. Well left, just by an inch or two. Of course, Gigi's so experienced that coming into the net, serves and volleys, returns and volleys on every serve of her opponent.
And a kicker got Natasha, 1 game off.
These two are such a successful pair. They started playing together for the first time in 1991, but only played a couple of tournaments. In 92, played more consistently together. They became full-time partners.
Well, they've won 7 tournaments this year. Natasha Zvereva from Minsk, Belarus.
And Arantxa's won 6 doubles tournaments this year, 3 with Novotna. I think it really helps this pair that they play together all the time, and they've been playing consistently for a few years now.
Novotna, wonderful doubles player she is. Remember seeing her in the 1988 Olympics, playing with Helena Sukova in the final against Pam Shriver and Tina Garrison-Jackson, and she was tremendous. Played the left court then. Novotna again.
Smart shot from Novotna, pulling Natasha really wide here. Not going with the pace, but just the angle. Good touch, and then fills in the open court. It's a nice little slice. And then keeps the racket head up and keeps moving forward.
Chance for Arantxa, the receiver.
We should say here that Natasha has had a shoulder problem starting in the middle of the second week. She has a spasm in her shoulder blade. So she's really serving at just 3/4 pace, trying to get as many first serves in as possible. She went and had some acupuncture to try to make the problem go away. And Gigi said, hey, I'm the one that's been injured all week. You've got to stay healthy.
Great point. And this is the only one so far.
Natasha's really not able to let her serve rip, taking a little bit of the pace off because of that spasm. But still having a lot of topspin on it, trying to keep it deep.
No depth on that volley blob.
Arantxa got caught in no man's land.
No woman's
But
land.
we're always taught, never be caught in between the baseline and the service line, like Arantxa is here. You either want to be all the way back or all the way up.
It is deuce. The break point vanishes.
Hits her volley so well, keeps it so simple. See, that topspin allows her to get to the net even quicker, gives her a little bit of extra time, ball stays in the air longer.
It's advantage to the server, and deuce.
Gigi puts out a racket there saying that should have been hers.
So you've got this young woman from the Czech Republic returning serve from Brno. Break point.
Couple in a row down the middle. Making her opponent guess which one of the ones is going to cover the middle. That one's just too tough.
That court. And there is the break. So, 2-1 for Arantxa Sanchez Vicario and Jana Novotna. We'll come back to the big W in a minute. Vicario, Barcelona, Natalia, Zvereva, Minsk in Belarus, and they meet on a court for the most important doubles championship of the year.
I think Natasha Zvereva has the best doubles return in the game. It's so consistent, you can always count on it. It's also very hard. You can also mix it up with a chip. You never know what she's going to do. It's nice to have a partner that you can always count on for the return. They're discussing where they're going to serve to Arantxa.
Where would you serve?
And also discussing if Gigi's going to be in the middle, which way she's going to go.
And Novotna knows which way she's going to go. She was in the final a year ago with Larissa Neiland, losing to the team she's opposing now.
Pam Shriver and I played this team, Novotna and Sanchez, in the semis of Light and Lively this year. And Arantxa's backhand is just so tough when you give her that angle. Then hit it down the middle to the forehand. There's that overhead, great extension. Just so relaxed when she hits it. Gonna watch anybody's overhead out there in tennis land, tennis fans. Watch this one. Keeps that racket head up right away. Gets it up there nice and early. Good wrist snap.
30-15. Good call by Jana. So Zvereva, who lost her serve the last time around, serving for the second time. No.
So tough to get around this team. Zvereva and Fernandez, they move so well at the net, and they move so well together, always filling in the gap where the other one is just left.
As though they were on a leash between the two of them. One moves right, the other one accompanies. Close the gap. Woo! On guard. It is out. So, 4-3 for Gigi and Natasha.
The first championship of the 1994 U.S. Open set to be decided. That's mixed doubles. The #1 seeded team, Jana Novotna and Todd Woodbridge. Novotna played earlier today on the stadium court with Arantxa Sanchez Vicario in doubles. They'll face the 8th seeded Elena Reinach and Patrick Garbler for the mixed doubles championship here on USA, and it is another perfect day at this beautiful facility. Well, the French did it, the Australians did it, the British are doing it, and now the USTA is doing it also. Construction is set to begin on a brand new $20 million